Thank you for tuning in to Smile, but Sonia Moss brought in here some food from Lunch Date Catering, and I couldn't help it. And then they gonna tell me to roll. But anyway, I'm smiling right now and spreading a little joy with this food. So forgive me. Could you kind of Facebook Live me and tell me if I got food on my face? But anyway, today, besides me eating this great food from Lunch Date Catering, Sonia Moss, sorry for being rude. She don't have none. She just brought some in here for me. We're going to be reviewing some movies, and also movies that you should see. And then talking about life and how we can make our own movies, which we should tell our own true messages. We see now lately how the truth is coming out. LA, I applaud you for changing Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day. And I can't wait until I can tell our stories. Once I get back from Ghana, West Africa, I'm going to be ready to tell my story and where I came from, because I did my DNA and found out where I'm from. But a lot of times we allow people to tell our stories, and when they don't tell it right, we complain. Guess what? Maybe we should tell our own stories. And so that's where the movie reviews come from. Not that we agree with all of it, but give our take. And there's no, if you think about it, there's no bad production because, or should I say wasted? Because if it's really bad, you can look at it and say, oh goodness, I can do that better. If it's good, you can say, oh wow, I like that, and I want to do something like that. And if it's just exceptional, you say, okay, now that's where I want to go. Or you can just carve your own niche. Me, I want to get into documentaries, the guerrilla warfare, with about 5 different cameras, 5 different eyes, from the GoPro to the cell phone to the over the shadow to and then the studio, all of them incorporated in the same movie. But it's like you're walking in real life, because each person has different eye point of view of the same subject. And that's the type of documentary I want to do. I don't want it polished. I don't want it just everything the same and everything so perfect. I want it real life, not reality, but real different eye perspectives. So that's what we're going to do. I know Miss Sonia and I see different points on different movies, and some of them we're the same. But basically, I know we're the same on this food. I'm getting ready to be rude again. Lunch, date, goodness, catering. I'm sorry, this is rude, huh? Anyway, I guess I should introduce Sonia, right? Sonia, forgive me. Well, my hands is your food.
All right.
And welcome back, Miss Lady O.
Thank you.
Now, I think what we need to jump into is a movie we just saw together, and that was Step.
Yes.
I want your opinion on it and what you got out of it, if you kind of remember. I know we saw it a minute ago.
Yeah.
And what you liked about that movie?
Well, what I enjoyed about the movie, it was a real life situation.
Exactly.
It wasn't stepping for like a fraternity or a sorority.
Mm-hmm.
It was stepping for a cause of going beyond Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
It was stepping towards going to college.
Mm-hmm.
They used step as a freedom to dance when they were having issues within their home lives or personal lives, and they used stepping as an outlet for them to gain freedom to go beyond Baltimore. So that's the part I really liked about it. And I had a different perspective just to hearing the name Step. I thought it was going to be like the other Step movies that I'd seen. And the other ones were more geared to entertainment, but this one was more geared to a reality of going beyond their poverty situation. And it was an all-girls school, and it was the first graduating class, high school graduates, and they all went to college. And that doesn't happen in local areas.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the biggest thing that I learned, like I went to Catholic school 1st through 8th grade. And then when I got to high school, I went to John Muir. And when you're asking the question, The question's different. For me, it was, where are you going to college? The other question is, are you going to college? And I think with the college prep that I had going to elementary school, it prepared me for, I already knew where I was going. I knew I was going to college, and that's what I did.
You know, the director, Amanda Lipitz, female director, very good. And also in the movie, I love the fact that they took about 5 major families and showed the challenges, you know, single parents, blended families, and first generation college, and people kind of gave up on them. And some of them couldn't even afford a place to live, but they used the step as an outlet. And the one girl, she didn't even like dancing, but she jumped out of her comfort zone because she wanted to go to college, and she had that support system. And she knew that the village was going to be the one because her family couldn't afford it to help her get to college. And she got a full scholarship to, I forgot what university it was.
Yeah, I've forgotten too.
John Hopkins.
Yes.
John Hopkins University.
Yes.
She wound up getting a full scholarship, and she had 6 other siblings, and she was the oldest, and all of them were first generation college. I love that the counselor that counseled them and was also the choreographer dropped out of school, remember?
Yes, yes.
Dropped out of school, this and that and the other, and she vowed to help people that were like her. In other words, can you imagine me working with a full room of people like me? Oh my goodness. That's probably why I'm smiling right now. I'm working with people that are challenged and very challenging to work with, because I came from a situation where I'm blessed to live to be 65. I did not think I was going to live past 30. Trust me, where I was raised, you know, and when I was an infant, a gun held up to my mother's head and da-da-da-da, this and that and the other. So my story would take about 3 segments to tell, but I'm smiling because I'm living, number one, and I can relate to the children that were challenged like me. So in step, you came out of it, you said, seeing that it was more than about dancing. So in that little metaphor, I know I have one, what can you kind of relate that to?
Myself.
Yes.
And I really, like when I dance, it's like a release. You know,
Exactly.
I might have stress, I might have something going on I don't really want to deal with, but dancing just lets me have a break from it. And this is what I saw in them, that they found an outlet through dance.
And what about your catering? Because I know this is one of your many jobs. What, you Jamaican? You got 5 jobs?
Yeah, I got 5 or 6.
5, 6 jobs.
Yes.
So you tutor, you work with children and you tutor. But I know from the beginning, when I met you, you were kind of catering and,
Yes.
and directing productions and stuff like that. So I'm thanking you for the food today, the food
You're
the last
welcome.
time. Lunch Date Catering. What got you into, how long have you been liking to cook? And we're going to go back to the movies, trust me.
A long time. A long time. I would find something I like, and then I would ask either my grandparents to teach me, like they taught me how to make gumbo, they taught me how to make jambalaya.
Oh, maybe that's the next one.
Okay.
But that crew going to have to be really good because that's expensive. That's expensive, y'all. Expensive.
Yes, it is expensive.
You know, when I bring that gumbo, I want somebody willing to really work for work for food. I work for food.
So,
Okay.
So I had to learn how to make it because I enjoyed it so much.
She makes it. I'm telling you, y'all. I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Detroit. I know you didn't get to see it.
No, not yet.
Have you heard anything about it?
No, I haven't.
Uh-oh.
Tell me.
Detroit. Number 1. Excuse me, these are pitted olives. I want you to go see Detroit with a smile and take some tissue because it's going to make you cry. This movie came out in 1967 when I was a teenager, and I can relate to it because I was raised in an environment where all 3 of my brothers were in gangs. But this doesn't have to do with gangs, but it has to do with the way we were treated back in the day, in the 60s. I didn't know this movie was going to affect me so much. This true story taking place then in 67. I didn't know this was just a year before Martin Luther King got assassinated, April 4th, 1968. You need to go see the movie Blue-Eyed, Brown Blue-Eyed Jane Elliott that took place in 1968, April 5th. But this movie is so true, and it made me cry because the stuff is still going on today in 2017. And the group, I don't know if it was the Dramatics, what was the name of the group? One went totally crazy and left the group before that their hit came out because of the abuse that was put upon him during that particular time. And again, it was because black men were mating with a white woman. And I'm not going to do a spoiler alert, but this has been happening with Emmett Till. This has been happening with almost a lot of our kings in Africa, because you got to go see the movie Loving also. Loving is another movie. We're talking about movies we should see. But back to Detroit, it really shows the cover-ups and the abuse of the police and how we had to really act in a certain way. And I'm a witness of it. I'm not giving you hearsay, where 3 or more of us couldn't congregate or we would get arrested for inciting a riot. You couldn't be out past 11 or else you were target, and it would be legal to kill you because of curfew at 11, and if we were out, it was okay. So with Detroit, I'm telling you, go see it. Black, white, Asian, anybody that wants to make a difference, because all lives matter. But I think some are lower on the totem pole, and we need to look at movies like this and quit talking about it. Oh, get over it. And I want to tell you, we're not immigrants.
I want to share something.
Go ahead.
The other evening, you and I experienced a live performance.
Quincy Jones.
Yes, and they did What's Going On. They did it all as an instrumental. But some of the same things that were happening then are still in effect. It hasn't gotten any better. It's still going on. And it's related to the movie. And almost any movie we see, it's still going on, that we have not progressed very far.
What's going, Father, Father? Do you remember some of the? See, I know the songs when it's playing. I can lip sync it.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's going on? And I'm saying to myself, just like Paul Laurence Dunbar in the 1800s, and I sing that along with This Masquerade. I quote it along with This Masquerade. You know, we wear that mask that grins and lies. It hides our cheeks and shades our eyes. This debt we pay to human guile, with torn and bleeding hearts we smile, and mouth with myriad subtleties. Why should the world be overwise and counting all our tears and sighs? Oh nay, let them only see us while we wear the mask. Yes, we wear the mask. We have to. We have to do things twice as good. We have to do this. We can't wear our hair a certain way, or else we're threatening. If we're 6'4" and got a PhD, you know, oh, we're threatening. When we walked into the room, I felt threatened because of my life. Don't get me started. Our kings are being so mistreated, and then on top of it, they want us females to do that. But we can't. All lives matter. All I can say is with Detroit, my review is excellent. I know it's a white director. Some people say, I got somebody say, oh, that's from a white person's eye view. You know what? So was Jane Elliott, brown-eyed, blue-eyed. So was The Help, who had to write it from that perspective. Sometimes they won't listen to it unless it's from the other perspective. What did you talk about Frederick Douglass when he got with his white wife, and the only way he could get his message across is he had to act like he was her servant? Come on now, if you're going to talk about it, talk about it. But this was a very, very good movie to me. I don't care what Rotten Tomatoes, Broken Tomatoes, whatever said, I really enjoyed that movie. And I think you should see Detroit. Don't let anybody, your children under about 16 see it. I don't think they can handle it. I think you should go as a family and discuss it. I don't think it's something that you should go and just eat popcorn and say, "Oh, we had fun." No. Trust me, if you have any type of feelings, see Detroit, but don't go see it by yourself. That's one thing I'm saying. Don't go see it by yourself like I did. That was wrong. Wrong. Very wrong. So any other movies you think we should look at? I know Kidnapped. I know I wanted to see that with Halle Berry, but I'm trying to look up on my phone to see the details. I don't want to get Detroit wrong. Have you seen any other movies?
No, not recently. I haven't.
Okay. So tell me what movies you want to review. Tell me what movies you've seen, and you may want to come on and talk about that. I think that there was another thing that you was talking about, just like in life. I know you have something else to say. You ain't too short for words all the time. Come on now.
Well, we were talking about, you talk about a masquerade. We were talking about personalities of people that
narcissism.
Yes, that are very misleading. Some of the characteristics are they're very controlling. They want things their way. It's hard to get away from those kind of people because they want you in their lives just to be used. So you see some characteristics and your instincts are telling you, I don't need to be here. And then you might think, well, they're paying attention to me, so.
Some attention is better than nothing.
Yeah, but you're still in their game. It's not your game. And the best way to leave one alone is to cut it completely. Just put a period on it and walk away. Change your number, block their number. Don't go over there for any reason. Just stay away. There's so much more, but you can't explore it until you let that go. You gotta just cut it so it won't come out and capture you.
Well, the one thing I want to read a little bit of, and I just have a few minutes left here regarding Detroit, and I just kind of lost that. I should have snapshotted that.
Okay, well, my words of wisdom.
There you go. Thank you very much.
I would say the words of wisdom today are just be in your present state. Don't get too hung up on the past because it's all gone. Don't be hung up on what's going to happen in the future because it's not here. So there's no need of stressing about it. Just pay attention to what you're presently doing. Don't be trying to do too many multitasking because you'll be overwhelmed and it doesn't work. You'll end up backing up instead of going forward. Okay, your turn.
Okay, I'm just going to read this little blurb, and you can go online to see it. In the summer of '67, rioting and civil unrest starts to tear apart the city of Detroit. 2 days later, a report of gunshots prompts police department, the Michigan State Police, and the Michigan Army National Guard to search and seize an annex of the Algiers Motel. And they viciously interrogated the guest. And you know what? It's ditto, snapshot of today. Holding on to anger and resentment, I say this all the time, is like taking poison, hoping the other person dies. Thanks for smiling. You spread joy, not hate.
Thank you very much.
That's it.
Hi, I'm Julie, and this is Frank. We're from the Pasadena Humane Society and SPCA. You might know us for our pet adoptions, but did you know that we also offer many services to help pet owners in need? Programs such as low-cost spay-neuter, vaccination and microchip clinics, a pet food pantry, and more. Hey, if you have a pit bull, chihuahua, or even a free-roaming cat in our service area, the spay-neuter is free. And if you're experiencing a pet behavior problem, check out our free behavior helpline. Register for one of our behavior classes or come to one of our monthly education programs. We even offer programs for kids and volunteering. So if you need some support with your pet, let us help you. For more information or to get involved, visit PasadenaHumane.org. Right, Frankie?